Martin Shkreli is the pharmaceutical executive who sparked global outrage when he dramatically hiked the price of a life-saving drug.
That's right. Last month, he was arrested in connection with a separate fraud case. Now, despite the accusations, Shkreli says he's not the bad guy prosecutors and social media has made him out to be. I sat down with Martin Shkreli for an interview you won't see anywhere else.
The reason I let this kind of anger and hate fester is because I was so sure that the people who knew me just looked at this and said, this is insane. This isn't, Martin Shkreli. He must be joking, and I was, but the reality is I didn't realize that there are millions of people who never heard of me, and the first impression they got of me was this.
In Martin Shkreli's first television interview since his arrest, he admits he probably should have been more careful how he dealt with his critics online and in the press.
I was just sort of blew it off and said, look, you guys don't know what you're doing and what you're talking about, and if you want to villainize me, go right ahead. This is fun. That was the wrong move.
But he continues to take a combative stance with his many foes from the world of big pharma and bristles at being called greedy.
I spend all of my income on research. They don't. They spend their money on salaries. My salary is $0. All these guys, they make $10, $20, $30 million a year. So who's greedy now?
It was his decision in September to hike the price of the obscure 70-year-old drug Daraprim some 5,000% that landed Shkreli the title of the most hated man in America. He continues to defend the decision from a business and ethical standpoint.
If it's up to the company, if you raise prices and you don't take that cash and put it back into research, I think it's despicable. I think you should not be in the drug business. We take all of our cash, all of our extra profit, and spend it on research for these patients and other patients who have terrible, life-threatening, life-ending illnesses.
While he has plenty to say about the current state of the drug industry, he has declined an offer to testify before Congress about it later this month.
I'd love to explain to Congress for 6 hours how drugs work, because it doesn't seem like they know anything about it. There's other drugs where
While awaiting trial, he spends countless hours online interacting with people via a number of social media platforms.
Look, attention is not something I'm desperate for or crave, but if it's there, and I don't have to work for it and send one tweet out and it drives people crazy, why not?
And he recently drew major headlines when it was revealed he was the person who paid $2 million for the one and only copy of Wu-Tang Clan's mythical Once Upon a Time in Shaolin CD.
Give me your sort of grand vision for that album.
I don't know yet. I think it's a special piece of music. It's obviously one of a kind, and it's the most expensive piece of music ever sold.
All right, I didn't get to actually hear any of that album. He said he bought it to make a point about the fact that art has value and people should be willing to pay for it. He views himself as sort of a patron of the arts. That's something he's going to do more of going forward. And he has certainly inserted himself into the dialogue about drug prices. He's due back in court later this week. He's facing a mountain of lawsuits and legal trouble, so you will be seeing more of Martin Shkreli, whether you would like to